Welcome to the Gleeful Meeple, a podcast all about board games where strategy meets laughter and more games is always better. In this episode, we throw a curveball. We march in a parade, we build castles, and we lead our nightly orders in this week's games of the show, Parade, Rebirth, and Crusaders, Thy Will Be Done. And you, the Gleeples, get to take a break as the hosts don't get put in the hot seat with this week's game challenge. Are you ready to visit Neverland? Do you want to visit Scotland? Hey, how does Europe sound? You came to the right podcast. Let's go on a tour together. Hey, multifaceted gamers of all game types.
I totally wanted to screw up that whole introduction when you said, in this episode, we do nothing.
Whoa.
we break everything.
But my name is Emily.
And this is JK.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something before.
Sorry.
You looked very intently like you were going to speak, and then we all looked at you like, so what's coming?
I don't know. I didn't have any banter prepared. But we are down a member, which is part of why we're doing the curveball episode.
Did Dwayne pull a hamstring or something? Is that why he's not?
Laid up in bed. He was out doing all the Olympic training that Dwayne's known for and ready to represent Gleeples in the World Game Board Olympics.
I was going to try to give some Simpsons excuse, but I've only seen one episode. So I could have said he is just visiting Itchy and Scratchy Land right now.
Fair. Yeah, the reality of it is our schedules just didn't quite line up to the point where we could all get together and still meet our deadline for having an episode out on a regular basis. So we decided to have a one-off with just the three of us.
And 3 people means
3 games.
3 games. It's a triple feature.
Yay!
We're going diving deep into game discussion, game review. We're bringing you 3 games this week.
We had a fun game day. We decided to bring out a light game, a middle game, and then a semi-heavy game and just see how they all played and chat about all 3 all at once.
Yeah, so I hope you're ready to learn some new games and your wallet is ready to potentially buy some that maybe we liked, maybe we were excited about, but we're going to talk games.
Yeah. Do we just dive right into this now?
I think we do it.
Let's do it. All right, so the first game we're going to talk about, Gleeples, is Parade. Parade was published by Z-Man Games, designed by Naoki Homa, who also did the art, and it plays 2 to 6 people, but Board Game Geek says it's most gleeful at 4 players. JK, walk us through Parade.
Parade is a card game in which all of the players are participating in a gradually forming parade of Alice in Wonderland characters. On your turn, you are going to take one of the 6 characters and add them to the front of the parade. This is the Cheshire Cat, Alice, the Mad Hatter, the Dodo, the
Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty and the White Rabbit are the 6 characters. And these are all numbered from 0 through 10. Now here's the catch. When you add a character to the front of the parade, you're going to count back that many spaces in the parade based on the value of the card you placed out. So for example, if you place a 5, the first 5 characters in the parade are exempt. Those are not going to fall victim to you. Safe. But then after that, you're going to look at any cards that are numbered equal to or less than the number you played, as well as any cards that are the same color that you've played. You take those cards into your scoring pile. The goal in this game is to have as little in your scoring pile as you can. Ideally, don't pick up any cards if that's at all possible. But if you do pick up cards, there's another level of strategy to this. Because if you are the player that receives the most cards of any given color, you're going to count them based on the count of the cards as opposed to the number value on top of the cards. At the end of the game, you're going to have one final round to play a little bit of strategy, and then you're going to look and see how many points you've got. That's Parade.
Oh, man. I think today was my worst game of Parade ever.
I had a great time with it.
Oh, my gosh.
You were building a rainbow over there, Emily.
I was like, I think I had to pick up a card almost every single round. And usually my strategy is to not pick up until late game, hoping that someone else is clearing the parade. Because it's like you're saying, gradually growing parade, it just gets longer and longer and longer. If no one's picking up, it's eventually you are going to run out of exempt like cards, because it's going to be longer than 10. So then your 10 doesn't matter. Or it's just you get the worst combination of colors. It was like I had blue cards in my hand, and we had a blue 10 right at the end of that parade. And that blue 10 stayed there for about like 75% of our game.
That's one of the catches with the parade is you start out with a preset parade of 7 cards.
6.
So 6 cards?
Yep.
So ideally, if you have some higher numbered cards in your hand, you can play those during the first round or 2 pretty safely, because nothing in the parade is going to fall into those numbers. The challenge is if everybody is putting out those high number cards early in the game, those are still going to be there for a while, and it makes it very, very challenging to get around those.
Yeah, it's pretty tough once the parade gets up to 9, 10, 11 cards long. It's hard to find a card in your hand that you'll play out that doesn't result in you having to take a card or 2. It can get pretty challenging. It's nice when the person before you is taking a lot of cards in turn order, like Emily was for me. But it still didn't stop me from getting cards. And I felt like Emily taking a lot of cards led to me maybe taking lesser cards, which then led a waterfall down to JK not taking a lot of cards.
Yep.
I think my strategy at this game was I'm just really good at this game. Clearly today, I was a dominant force in parade.
Because that's what, this is a game that definitely has strategy to it, but there is some element of you're at the mercy of the cards. And so I think I've enjoyed games where it is 4, 5, or 6 players. Because when it's the 3 of us, like you said, James, it's that waterfall where it's okay, well, I'm picking up a lot of cards, James is picking up some cards, and JK is reaping the benefits of it. So I think it can be a little bit tricky at less player counts.
Yeah, a little bit, because the randomness comes in when at the end of your turn, you always draw back up to your hand size. So you'll play your card, you'll take any cards that maybe you had to, but if you didn't, then you don't take any cards, but you always draw back up. So that random draw off of a deck, you might get a great card that helps you, or you might get a card that isn't that great. So there is some randomness there, but the strategy comes in where if you're trying to pick and choose, okay, I can either whatever card I play this turn is going to result in me taking some cards.
Yeah.
What's my best option?
Yeah.
Right? With the other cards that are in my hand, if I play this one now and take these cards, that should maybe set me up next turn potentially to not have to take cards because of the other cards in my hand. So while you are thinking about some of that stuff, there's also the random strategy or the random card draw at the end of your turn every hand.
And there is a strategy that comes into play at the end of the game. As James said, you're going to have a set number of cards in your hand. It's always 5. So you'll play 1, you'll draw back up to 5. When you make your final play in the game, that's going to leave you with 4 cards. You get to decide ultimately which 2 of those cards you're going to set aside and take out of the game, and which 2 of those cards you're going to add to your scoring pile. Where that comes into play is you might have a player who has the majority of a given color. So let's say James is sitting on the 7, 8, 9, 10 in green. That's a lot of points. So he knows he's got the lead in green. He's safe because since he has the lead, instead of that accounting for 34 points, it's just 4. But meanwhile, here I am sitting with 3 green cards in front of me, and James doesn't know that I'm holding 2 in my hand that I'm going to lay down in front of me. All of a sudden, James's 4 points just went up by 30, and I took the lead in majority. That's a big factor when that comes into the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So sometimes towards the end of the game, you're starting to hold back cards because you're I'm getting really neck and neck with this other player. I should hold on to this instead of playing it so that you can secure that card count.
Yeah, you almost want to make sure that if you're going for majority in a color, that before that last round, you have at least 2 ahead of anybody else.
Yeah.
Because ties are friendly. If 2 people tie for the same card count in a color, then you both, just count the number of cards. You don't get the face value of the cards. So that's the safe way to do it. That happened to me. I was ahead in green and didn't realize that Emily was one behind me, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then in the last hand, she had some green secret in her hand that she added to it, which, jumped me from that exact scenario, going from like 4 points essentially to whatever it ended up being, which was a ton of points. So you are trying to watch that throughout the game of, okay, if I take this color, does it help me get majority, or can I at least tie with somebody else to make sure that we at least equal out? You can also do it to kind of force somebody into a lot of points. So there are different areas of strategy here. There's just that little bit of random card draw that adds that unknown factor.
So I'm curious. I have taught this game several times, and I don't think I'm a bad teacher. But this game, of all of the like lighter weight games I've ever taught, this game seems to trip people up very easily. It's like part of it's like, I'm thinking of my family who is not super board game savvy, but it like that exempt area.
The counting backwards of the cards,
it leads to fun gameplay because you just get people tapping on the table every turn. But I have had to remind people so many times of like, no, that's the safe zone. You don't start taking cards until after the safe zone. And it's like, and then it's whatever color it is. And also it's dependent on number or like the scoring. It's like, well, I thought I just counted by card. It's like, well, you don't have the majority of that color. I don't know if people underestimate it because it's just cards or what. Have y'all had a similar experience?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where I run into trouble with people in their initial play of this is they'll lay out a card and they'll count back and see, okay, well, I'm just taking this one card, and you have to go, oh, no, whether it's color or they've done the math wrong. You're like, you're taking all of these cards, and you push like 4 or 5 forward, and then they go, oh, well, I'm clearly not making that move, and they have to backtrack a little bit. So there is a patience level involved when I'm teaching new players the game. It's a simple game.
It really is.
Why is it that complicated for people to like really grok it? I don't know.
I just think the idea of laying a card out, counting backwards, and then having to both evaluate number and color of something is just beyond the, if you've only ever played card games, whether it's, spades or hearts, trick takers or bridge, or just the combination of those 3 things aren't very common. The counting backwards maybe at all. So it's a way of playing, quote unquote, playing cards that a lot of folks just aren't familiar with.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it takes a few turns or maybe even a whole first game to kind of, for the mechanics to click.
Yeah.
But then after that, for the strategy to actually sink in. I think that's the tough part. The first game is just like getting mechanically figuring that piece plus the set collection, right? And then the second game, when they finally feel comfortable with that, they can start to realize the strategies of, trying to force someone to have less cards than you and all. Yeah, I think it's just a combination of things, but I've had the same experience for sure, where it's like, this shouldn't be this difficult, but for some reason it is.
Well, and I know this is kind of considered a set collection game, but it's really a set that I don't want to collect game. So maybe there's that mentality of every card game that I can think of, you're trying to win tricks or win cards or obtain things. In this one, you're doing everything in your power not to.
Golf scoring.
Yeah.
What as many points as possible. If you're hoping to buy this game, I have bad news because it is out of print, and JK was looking up the prices on eBay before the show.
This is a simple little small box game. I think the total components of this game are 66 cards and a score pad. That's it. And,
that sounds right. In the rule book.
If you can find a cheap copy right now, it's currently lowballing at $43. High end, you're creeping up towards $100.
Yeah, and just to bring some history to that, for those that might be familiar with it, it was out of print for a long time, came back in print, and is now out of print again. So if you're thinking, no, it's been a while, but it's back in print, guys. No, that's what I thought too. But it actually came back in print and is now out of print again.
Yeah, Z-Man has said they have given up the rights to the game back to the designer, who is the current owner.
Yeah, so if you find a copy
at a flea market for a reasonable price, yeah, go for it.
Component-wise, it's pretty.
It's very pretty.
The artwork's nice.
It's color accessible friendly because of each character is its own suit. So you have the 6 colors, but each color has a unique character, which is nice.
The Alice in Wonderland theme doesn't give anything to the game. It could be just cards and number or cards and colors.
Yeah.
But it's pretty, makes it nice.
Yeah. But yeah, do we want to rate it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, it's a curveball episode. Let's rate it anyway. I'm going to keep it to play.
for sure. Keep it at play for me as well. Unique card game. Yeah, not going anywhere in my collection.
When I first got into gaming, this was one of the first games that I purchased and loved it from the get-go. Still love it today. It's a keeper for me. 3 out of 3 on the Glee meter.
Whoop, whoop. It's a keeper.
How do we do scoring-wise?
It's a Gleeper.
Oh.
The scores, for this episode, the scores don't matter. At some point,
This is true.
we're gonna resume and we're gonna pick up with playing Obsession for Dwayne since he won the last game. But for at least to document the elements here, who won this game?
Not me, but I was so proud of myself because I was able to push James into third. I love you, James.
Yeah, it was hard for me to. I mean, your pain was my gain, but
Until
it's still laid up JK for a big win.
For the win.
I think you guys were reasonably close in score between the two of you.
It was like 27 to 30 something.
I will say one thing that I've always noticed about this game is there seems to always be one person who, I won't say it's always luck. It's a combination of it's strategy, card play, what card to play when, but seems to always get through with very minimal acquiring
very
of cards.
Unscathed.
Yeah, very unscathed, while the rest of the table is, I've taken lots of cards. I've never had a game where everyone that's playing ends up taking, a somewhat, even amount of cards, and like you're trying to score up the points and you wonder who's going to win. Every game, it's always pretty obvious who's going to win before you even start scoring points.
And today I was that guy.
Yes, you were.
So you guys were very close in score, 27 to 32. I was about half of that. I finished with 16.
Oh, my word.
Yep. Congratulations. Hope you're happy with yourself.
I feel great about it.
You led the parade with pride.
Yay.
All right, Gleeples. Next up, the gang played Rebirth. Rebirth is published by Mighty Boards and designed by Reiner Knizia. Art is by
Dr. Reiner Knizia.
Yes,
The great
thank
doctor.
you. Art is by Anna Mikado Przybilska, Kate Vesner Radezovic, and it plays 2 to 4, but Board Game Geek says it's most gleeful at 3. JK, walk us through Rebirth.
In Rebirth, depending on which side of the board you play, you are either focused on Scotland or Ireland. Today we were focused on Scotland, and this is a tile placement game. Each of the players in the game has a comparable number of tiles laid out in front of them with their face side hidden down. You draw a tile at random, and that determines where you are placing your pieces. So it's either an energy field, a food field, or a settlement. And there is different scoring rules for each of those areas. You're generally trying to put the biggest set that you can together, or to lay claim to settlements for more points prior to the other players. On top of that, the field also has castles in play as well as cathedrals. If you place in an area adjacent to a castle, you claim that castle tile. And you're going to hold that until someone claims a greater majority of tiles surrounding that castle than you do. For cathedrals, all you have to do is place adjacently, and you will draw a bonus card. That bonus card is going to give you some additional endgame scoring or goals that you can chase down throughout the game. As the game goes on, there are less spaces to select from. You're kind of getting backed into a corner depending on what the other players are doing, or you're focusing on your strategy of figuring out those bonus tiles based on the cards that you've drawn. Once everybody has played every single tile in front of them, that's the end of the game, and you look at scoring. That's Rebirth.
Okay, one thing I like about this game, you pick up your tile, you play it. That's your turn.
It's straightforward.
That's it.
And so for a medium weight game, I've come to realize this, the more I get into games, the less complicated my turn is, and the more the ratio of the complicated turn to the depth of strategy in the game, I've come to really appreciate having a less complicated turn with a lot of depth. Because it's that placement, that's how James introduced this game. I was the only one who had not played it before today. James introduced this game by saying the tiebreakers are a little bit weird, so we spent some extra time making sure we knew what the tiebreaker rules were. And I was like, okay, I'm going to Edinburgh because that's the tiebreaker. And so I'm really focused on this one area of the map, and I see James and JK just going all around the board. And I'm like, oh, maybe I want to do that.
Well, yeah. I mean, the board is large. So if you want to picture a very large hex map, all the spaces are hexes, and your tokens are the same. They're slightly smaller than the space size, but all your pieces are hexagons as well. But don't picture like a boring hex map. This is a beautiful looking game.
It's really colorful.
It is so pretty.
Yeah.
And the quality of the components.
It's great.
Chef's kiss. They're great.
The retail edition, which is what I got, there is a deluxe version, but it's not that much better, to be honest. The retail edition comes with plastic castles, plastic cathedrals, like molded. They're really nice. And your tokens are cardboard chits. The only thing that you miss out in the deluxe version is those can be wooden sometimes, and the storage bags are cloth, but that would never get used in the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, great components, beautiful art. And pretty easy to navigate when you look at it to kind of take in all the information and make sense of it all. Because there's really only 4 different types of spots you can go to. With iconography on it. The food spot, the energy spot, which is a lightning bolt and a leaf. You have blank spots, but then you have a castle spot and a cathedral spot, and that's it. I mean, that's and I guess there's settlement spaces.
Right.
But it's pretty easy to kind of take it all in and make sense of it all.
And Emily, this was my second play. I took a radically different strategy with this play.
Oh yeah, you said
than I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm curious to hear what was going on in your brain, because that's what JK sits down and he's like, I'm going to try a different strategy this time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't wait to mess it up completely on accident.
Well, spoilers, it didn't pan out that great for me in the long run. But in the first game, I kind of took a very simple approach of try to make the biggest food field, try to make the biggest energy field, just following whatever I was drawing.
Because that's what, every time you make that chain bigger, the points go up.
Yes.
The more spread out you are, the more you're just getting 1-pointers.
If you lay down one food field or one energy token and they're not adjacent to any others, it's worth 1 point. If you lay another one next to that, hey, they're now worth 2 points.
Yeah.
And if you continue to do that turn after turn, you're just escalating.
They just become more and more valuable.
So my twist this time, the last time I played, I neglected the cathedrals. And what I found was I didn't have anywhere near as many bonuses coming into the end game. And even the ones that I was drawing throughout the game, by the time I got into them, I couldn't achieve them anymore.
Right.
So my strategy in this game was from the get-go, I went after every single cathedral I could get. I had 8 before I think you guys had half that.
Oh, 100%. Because that was part of when I realized, like, I looked at your little supply pile and I was like, I don't think I've been going through the cathedrals.
Yeah, and the earlier you get those, the more that it can direct your gameplay and you have a chance to actually accomplish them, which is really nice. And I'll say to what you said before, Emily, about simple turns but depth of strategy. That is something that Dr. Reiner Knizia is really good at. A lot of his games, his turns are simple, but it causes you to stop and think about what you're doing in multiple ways. He's really good at designing spaces like that. And this game actually really reminds me of a recent game of his called Mille Fiori. It's about glass making thematically, but it is also tile placement in a sense. And some of the scoring's even the same.
Yeah.
Right? And Mille Fiori, the board's broken up into like 8 different segments. I might have that slightly wrong, but like let's say 8 different areas. And every turn, it's very similar. You have a card in your hand and you play the card and you put a token down.
Yep.
And that's it. It's very similar.
Being able to build those consecutive areas are where you draw a lot of points from that.
Yes. So your first token you play down in an area is this, but then if you keep playing tokens in that area, you get more points in different ways, but similar. And so with Reiner Knizia, he's been designing games for so long. He has literally hundreds and hundreds of games under his design credit. And many of the games that he comes out with nowadays are actually re-implementations of his older games. So when original games come out from him that are new designs, I really pay attention. And Mille Fiori was one of those, and Rebirth is as well. So it feels like Rebirth is kind of an evolution of what he was doing with Mille Fiori, which is what got me so excited about it when I heard it was coming out.
Yeah,
I wanted me to chase it down
because that's not that Mille Fiori is like super complex, but this feels like a more streamlined or like a little bit more simple version of Mille Fiori. Like if you really liked Mille Fiori for its mechanics, but there might have been a little too much going on, try Rebirth. because you're just dealing with these tiles, castles, and cathedrals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree with that because in Mille Fiori, each section, I think it's 8, but I might be wrong on that, they score differently.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's similarities between them all, but they do have their own little unique thing going on.
Yeah.
And this isn't that, right? You're doing the same thing across the entire map.
I'd be curious if this would play any differently if you adjusted it to say, draw 2 tiles and play 1.
Oh, 100%. Because then you're completely changing the decision space.
Yes.
That said, there aren't that many different tiles. There's really 3 tiles.
Yes. Yeah. And there is an alternate way you can play Mille Fiori with that same approach. So the thing with Mille Fiori is you're drafting cards. So you have a small, you have a hand of cards, you pick one, you pass them to the left, and then same thing happened. Okay, people take their turns, you take one and pass them to the left. But there's an alternate way to play that to where you all pick one at the same time originally, and then put it face down. And then in turn order you take it. So you committed to it, right? You can't react to what other people do. The other way to play that is you have your hand of cards, and on your turn, you choose one from your hand of cards. So you have more options.
Yeah.
This would be the same thing. It would kind of change the dynamics of, okay, on your turn, rather than having just a random tile, you have more choice in that to react to what happened. I kind of liked that. I mean, I kind of like the original. I like the simplicity of it. I like you just get the tile that you get, and you're forced to deal with whatever the circumstance is.
Because that's what you do know how many of each symbol you have too, so you could do some card counting. And in fact, I was trying to see it was like the last 2 rounds of this Rebirth game. I was like, oh, if I have 2 energy tiles left, then I can steal that castle. And I quickly did the math and realized, oh no, this second to last round, this is my last energy tile. So it was like I wasn't going to be able to squeak out 5 points by taking a castle from James. I had to do something else.
Yeah, the total number of tiles you have is 36. You have 12 energy tiles. You have 12 farm tiles.
And technically you have 12 home tiles, but of those home tiles,
you have 3 of each level. So, right?
Yes.
My math right there. Yeah.
Because there's a level 1 through 4.
I knew there was one point late in the game where I could claim a settlement with 2 house tiles, and I quickly scanned the board and went, oh nope, I've only got 1 left to me, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's really important, and I think that's a piece of the game that would probably start to show itself more with multiple plays of counting tiles.
Yes.
Your own and other players.
100%. I am not a type of player that holds that knowledge in my head very easily. And so it's one of those we're talking about the last 2 rounds. That's when I started counting my own.
Yeah.
I was like, but if, you get used to it, you get used to thinking in that space, you could totally expand out to holding more of that information in your head.
You also open the game by taking 2 of your own tiles out of your inventory from the game entirely. And you know what you've taken out. You can look at them at any time. And
but you don't know what else.
Yeah, you don't know
what other people have taken out.
I had the unfortune of taking 2 farm tiles out. So I was already pretty much at a deficit for farm tiles.
And I took 2 energy tiles.
Did you?
Yeah.
But that could be critical. Like if you manage to accidentally take out one of your level 4 civilization tiles, that would stink.
Oh yeah, the settlement ones. Yeah. Because when it comes to closing out settlements, think of this kind of like I was gonna say Ticket to Ride, but I guess not really. It's just there's level 1 settlements, level 2 settlements, and level 3 settlements.
Number of hexes they occupy.
Yes.
1 space, 2 space, 3 space, and when you close them out, meaning they've been filled fully, then they score points. Whoever has the most influence total will get the top point scoring. Second gets second scoring, and then third place actually gets nothing if it's in a large settlement. Influence is the number of, you can call them pips, but on your settlement tokens there's 1, 2, 3s, and 4s, so you'll just add up whoever has the most settlement house images, pips on it, and win the points. But it can be interesting how the ties work in this game. If you go in there and 3 people are tied for a large one, the tiebreaker rules are a little bit funky when it comes to if a large settlement, which is 3 spaces, gets closed out, and all of you are used a level 4 settlement to close it out. Whoever closed it out is automatically out of the tie. And then the 2 remaining players, it's clockwise from the person who closed it out. So little weird things like that, but it keeps it interesting.
Yeah. So
I don't think we ever really encountered a tie.
well, we almost did, and then I remembered I was remembering it backwards.
If you did it that way, yeah.
Because that's what I almost closed out a settlement that would have created a tie between 2 of us, and I realized I had it backwards, and then the guys let me retcon it. And I was like, never mind, I'm not going to put it there.
Yeah. There's also a really, really strange rule when it comes to breaking a final score tie at the end of the game.
It's fun, I think.
So if at the end of the game, 2 people are tied for the lead, we're going to look at one specific spot on the board, which is the Castle of Edinburgh. And whomever has the castle wins the game. However, if neither of those players are tied, there's a second castle on the board. In which city was that one?
Oh, it starts with an S, I think.
Sterling.
Yes,
I think that's right.
Yeah.
So then we're going to look at who has control of Stirling Castle.
Whether or not they are one of the players in the tie.
Yes.
Whoever has majority or ownership of.
So let's say,
Stirling.
for example, you 2 are tied for first place, but I'm holding Edinburgh Castle and Stirling Castle.
JK has
I
won
win
the game.
Yes, because neither of us control Edinburgh. So then we go to the next condition, which is who controls Stirling. And that's up for the entire table.
I feel like if I were to ever come into that tie-break scenario, I would be so angry.
That's a rage flip.
Yeah, that's a rage flip for sure. And so that's why I was like early game. I was like, one of the first cathedral cards I got, the end game bonus was have the largest cluster of farming tiles, and like Edinburgh is like surrounded by a bunch of farming tiles. So I was like, all right, perfect. I'm gonna get control of Edinburgh.
Yeah, those cards are a big deal. The more you can get them. The more of them you can get early, the better off you'll be, because you can chase those objectives. But those are big points. There's a couple of cards that are just straight up. If you draw them, they're worth 3 points. No objective needed. But the rest of them are all 5 points if you meet this objection. If you meet this objective, have the most majority around this castle, around this cathedral. Have all the coastal spaces, next to England. Just stuff like have the largest group of farm tiles and all these private objectives that can score you a lot of points.
Yeah. Have a tile in more large settlements than any other player.
And
Things
then
like that.
the same thing, but with small settlements. Yeah. So that's how, those helped me a lot. I think I hit every single objective card I drew, which I wasn't expecting, but they were really nice. I liked them.
Artwork is colorful.
So
there's
pretty.
no artwork on the cards really to speak of. So you're looking entirely just at the surface of the board, which was pretty. The components, and James, you and I talked about this the first time you brought this out. It's not resin. It is wood, I think.
I think I'd have to look it up. It might be what's called rewood, which is a recycled wood product that you can mold into things.
Are we talking about the
castles and cathedrals?
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that was plastic.
No.
Huh.
It's a weird feel. I've seen it before. I think it's Kutnahora has the same components in that material. It looks woodish, but it's not wood. It's not super heavy.
Because it reminded me of the Skyrise.
Yeah, those are plastic or resin.
Maybe just in looks, but continue. Kutnahora.
It's nice.
It is nice.
It's a really nice game. And again, for the number of components you're getting, the substantial amount, it's not terribly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Just confirmed, thankfully, to the internet that yes, Rebirth uses rewood.
Rewood. Okay.
It's a trademarked product, RE-wood. But it's a way to recycle things and be better to the environment. So rewood components.
Nice.
But yeah, it's nice. Well, the molding's great. The pattern's great. Yeah, it's fun to play with.
Spoiler: my strategy of coming out of the gate and getting all of the reward cards due to the cathedral didn't pan out. Not at all. I was a distant third.
And I thought James had already counted up his objective cards when I scored mine, and I got so excited because then I was beating James by 1 point, and then James starts flipping over his objective cards being like, all right, I got 5 points for this, 5 points for that. So I got second.
Yeah, I did.
I've played this twice with James, and he has been dominating this game every time I play. So I think you've already got Rebirth figured out, sir.
I'm enjoying this one. It's going to be probably in my bag pretty regularly. If anybody wants to play it, just ask. I'll be happy to. I'm enjoying it. There is a whole other flip side to the board where you play on Ireland, and it adds other components. Supposedly makes it a little bit more take that-ish. So I'm really curious to try that out and see how it not just adds to the gameplay, but maybe also helps you mitigate some of that random draw that you get every turn, right? Because you're drawing blind from your stack, and then whatever tile you get, you get. So I think it's going to provide other scoring opportunities to help mitigate, some of those circumstances.
Yeah.
But yes, I am quite enjoying this one.
Despite my back-to-back losses in this game, I am definitely all in for this. It made my wish list right after that first play.
Nice.
I definitely want to get this game. It's a keeper for me.
Yeah, it's keep it to play for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I don't think a game has not tickled my brain like that in a while. So I'm looking forward to another play.
Yep, it is a keep it to play for me. The hype for myself that I had as this being the follow-up to Me the Fiore, which, by the way, that's not how it's advertised. That's just how I see it. But that's what I was excited for, and it followed through. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to trying the Ireland side and seeing if they release expansions later on for this.
This was a Gen Con purchase for you. Is it publicly available?
It is, yes.
Okay. It released in 2024.
Wow. All right.
All right, so 3 out of 3 on the Glee meter for our second game.
Man, this has been a good day.
This is a good day so far. Can we follow it? Can we cap it off with another keep it to play 3-way all the way? You'll find out.
Next.
All right, Gleeples, for our third and final game of this episode, we played Crusaders, Thy Will Be Done. Crusaders was published by TMG, but now it's published by Renegade. It was designed by Seth Jaff, art by Adam P. McIver, and it plays 2 to 4, but Board Game Geek says it's most gleeful at 3 to 4 players. JK, walk us through Crusaders, Thy Will Be Done.
Okay, this one's a little bit of a weird one. It's kind of a worker placement game. It's kind of an area control game. It has a Mancala involved. There's a lot of things going on. The gist of this game is you are using that Mancala to determine what action you are taking throughout the game. Is it influence? Is it build? Is it travel? Is it crusade? Is it, what's the one to add more people to your team?
Muster.
Which one of those actions are you going to take, and how powerful will that action be? That's entirely dependent on how many tokens are in that zone on your Mancala. As you move the pieces around, you can also upgrade your Mancala from a single action side to a double action side. Once you have that in your wheelhouse, you're going to look at the board and figure out how you're moving knights around. Do you want to attack one of the other forces? Do you want to establish some buildings or castles? Do you want to add more knights? There's a lot of things to consider as you move through the board, but you're ultimately doing this to gain influence. Influence is kind of money, it's kind of points, and ultimately that's the goal of the game. For the 3-player game that we've played, that's 200 influence in the game all told. And as soon as the last influence point of that 200 is claimed by a player, that ends the game. You look at a couple of endgame bonuses and see where things stack for scoring. Crusaders, Thy Will Be Done. It's a weird one, but let's get into talking about it.
So did you guys enjoy fighting the Slavs and the Prussians?
And the Slavs,
Saracens.
the Prussians, and the Saracens.
That's right.
Yes. You've been waiting to get this one to the table for a while here.
I have. Yep. Friend of the show, John, brought it to it had been on my radar, and then John finally allowed me to play it. And once I played it, I had to search it down, buy it, and I'm a few plays in now, and I just want to spread the good news of Crusaders Thy Will Be Done.
You want to go on your own crusade, I see.
That's right.
So based on the way we laid out our day, that was technically our heavy game for the day. I think that's probably a misnomer. It's not super heavy.
Medium plus.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I would maybe describe it.
Yes. It was interesting. It was not at all what I expected. I don't generally go towards this theme, and it's like, I don't know if that's like because of like PAX Renaissance, I think broke my brain.
I hated that game.
I didn't enjoy it either. No. It was we turned our competitive game into a co-op to make sure someone could win as quickly as possible. Yes. But so I think ever since that game, I've grown a little weary about Crusade type games, and I was pleasantly surprised with the way this played. I loved the Minkala mechanic. I don't think I played it to its utmost efficiency whatsoever, but it was truly enjoyable, like trying to figure out how I was supposed to play it.
Well, just a reminder for those of you that tuned into our Mount Rushmore episode, Emily thinks Mancala is one of the greatest games of all time.
That's right.
So anytime you can incorporate that into a game, it's probably a winner for her.
I don't even know, because I feel like that's a mechanic that would get old pretty quickly, but I really appreciated it in this game.
The decision space around the Mancala is neat. And one of the things we didn't mention is that you start the game by choosing a class of knight or a specific knight,
an order
that you're going to follow.
Yep. So that you can have some asymmetric powers.
That's all asymmetric. Each player is going to get a different power. They're going to get different levels of tokens already in their Mancala, and they might even see some upgrades to the tiles that are in their Mancala or how they utilize it. For example, there's 6 tiles in the Mancala. Each tile has one action. You can take a turn to choose to flip one of those tiles, which is going to give a secondary action that's also available. I started out with 3 of those tiles already flipped, and I thought that was a huge, huge advantage until I heard about James, what he was doing with his Mancala, in that he could go either direction. And that that broke my brain.
Clockwise or counterclockwise.
Yeah. Man, because our actions are set up in the same direction.
Yes.
And so it's when we're distributing our little hexagon tokens, we're all going in the same order, except for James, who can go the opposite order. And there were several times during the game where I'm like, oh, I wish I could go backward.
The flexibility was really nice. And I just realized, just for those who might not know what a Mancala mechanism is,
that's a good point.
It's worth kind of describing it. It's an old game, but it's when you have probably stones in the original one. If you have stones, 5 stones in one spot, you pick up all 5 and then you drop them off one at a time on all the following spots. So you pick up a bunch of things and then just distribute them one at a time and then all the following spots. And so the way this works is you start the game off with 6 locations, which are wedges, which kind of make up a circle, like pie wedges. And you start off with 2 action tokens on each wedge. But then for the rest of the game, when you choose an action on the wedge, so let's say I'm going to do the travel action, and I have 2 tokens on it. That gives me a power of 2 for that particular action. So I'm taking a travel action with a power of 2. I'll take my travel action, power of 2, and then I'll distribute those tokens Mancala style over the upcoming wedges. So one goes to the next, and then one goes to the next. So at the start of the game, because we started off with 2 on each one, now those 2 wedges both have 3 tokens on them. So it makes them more powerful. Mm-hmm. And every time that you take an action, you'll pick up all of the tokens from that particular wedge and distribute them one at a time, moving around the circle. So you'll eventually end up sometimes with wedges that have 5 or 6 tokens on them. So they're way more powerful versions of that action when you're ready to take them.
And so this is where I felt like I wasn't playing to the most efficient action selection I could have been. And I feel like that's one of the nerdiest sentences I've ever said. Because I would let one of my actions build up to like 6 or 7 hexagons. And then it's like, well, I need to build, but the thing I need to build only takes 3. Mm-hmm. And so it's like
kind of wasted.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I felt like I wasted a lot. I felt like I didn't upgrade super quickly. And because of how the board was set up, I went into enemy territory really early, but then that limited me in ways that I think overall just made my overall progress slower. It was a very interesting way I played that game.
I had a couple instances where my influence tile, which again, influence is you just get points. That's all it was. My influence tile had 6 or 7 tokens on it. And both times I kept staring at that going, that's a lot of points, but I don't really want that right now. And I ended up actually using that opportunity to flip another tile and redistribute those elsewhere, which you can do. It just kind of costs you a turn.
Because that's I had felt like there were areas where I should have upgraded. I think we mentioned this, when you upgrade, you have 2 actions on the other side that you can divide the things into. And I'm like, I just felt like I never got a good time to flip. And I was like, I didn't want to waste a turn upgrading because I need to make sure I'm getting hexagons to my crusade tile, because now the gold guys, I forget what they were called, but it's now I need to crusade at a power of 8.
Not the Prussian.
No.
The Slavs?
Slavs were the gold.
Yeah. And so it was just I felt like every decision I made was just wrong.
The other fun part to this is that you have a board that's out in front of you next to your Mancala, which is all of your different buildings that you can build. And as you build buildings out from your board, you're unlocking spaces underneath them, which further powers the things that you're doing on your Mancala. So you might get an extra spot for build, which means you get more credit towards building, or more influence, or more muster, more crusade. The more you unlock on that board, the more powerful you're getting, but you're also falling behind in some other places. It's a really interesting decision space on this game.
Yeah, because when you're, if we didn't paint the picture very clearly, there is a large center board we're all playing on. We have our player board with the Mancala and the buildings, but the board in the middle is a big map, and it's hex spaces. And it is preceded at the start of the game with little circular tokens that represent all the military forces of the Slavs and the Prussians and the Saracens.
You're never attacking each other.
Correct. We have our knights from our knightly order. We start the game with 4 of them, or one per player, so 3 in this case. But you have your knight that you're moving around the board, but you're never attacking each other. You can move in and out of each other's spaces. We're all for the same cause. We're just leading different knightly orders. So, what you're trying to do in this game thematically is just have your knightly order do the best, essentially. but we're only all fighting against the other military forces. And
we're converting all of Europe to Christianity. Is that the goal?
I guess, yeah. So you're moving around, battling, military strength. And then when you get military strength, the points you get is equal to the current strength of that particular type of military. But once you fight them, they get stronger and harder for the next person, but then also worth more points. Also, as you clear out these spaces, they become available to build buildings on, which is how you build buildings from your player board. I would say the left third of the board starts off with no military on it. So you can freely build on the left third of the board. Then as you start progressing farther and farther to the right of the board, you start, running into military, and then the farthest right of the board, which is the hardest to get to, has some extra bonuses you can get to. But on this entire large board, you're traveling, trying to fight the military forces and build buildings, all via way of your action selection on the Mancala. So your Mancala kind of drives all of those things. And it is a really interesting balance of do I go heavy trying to build all these buildings and open up more power for me while everyone else is kind of battling stuff, or what's going on?
It definitely feels like that. Like when you unlock the buildings, each building track has an end game bonus condition or objective. And it definitely feels like one of those games where it's I feel like if you try to jack of all trades you're not going to get any of the end game bonuses. But depending on how you did it, that might be offset by how many points you're getting through crusading. It was a very interesting, I think, power struggle.
You both kind of immediately dove into Eastern Europe and started attacking all of the other forces, which put me at a really bad spot because I knew I had very, very little muster power. If I selected Crusades, I was down at a 3 or a 4. I wasn't doing anything. If you're at a 3 or a 4, you can't beat hardly any of the enemies on the board
unless
once
you
the game
beat
starts.
the first one.
Yeah. So you're going after all of the opposing forces, and I'm just kind of looking at the board going, oh, I'm in trouble here. The one advantage I had was that I quickly had more knights than the two of you. And quick decision, as I see you two charging into Western Europe, I said, well, heck with this. I'm going to go the other direction. I'm not going to worry about attacking anything. I'm going to go to where there's no conflict, and I'm just going to build.
Yeah.
And you built a lot of buildings.
A lot of buildings.
Yeah.
But even to Emily's point, you built a ton of buildings. And of the 4 types, even though you built a ton, you only got 2 of them to the very end.
Yeah.
And the last of each type is endgame scoring objectives. So even for all of that effort, you got 2 endgame scoring objectives. I ended up getting 1, and I think you got 1 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, along the way, building buildings gets you victory points. So there's other benefits, obviously, and it drove your engine to make all your actions stronger. But yeah, it would be if you're able to focus on just 2 or 3. Is that even possible? I think you did probably what I would imagine is one of the better building strategies I'll probably ever see, because you built all of them almost except for like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
I
think I had 3 left. Yeah,
it was impressive.
Thanks.
But yeah, there's a lot going on in this game, while at the same time, it's not hard to understand, I feel like.
Yeah, because I felt like I grasped it. I just felt like I kept making the wrong decisions. And so I was in this space where I was enjoying it and I was tanking.
It's definitely about timing.
Yes.
Like efficiency, yes, but then also just the timing of things is really important, because if you go in and clear out, you fight some enemy and you clear the space out, but you can't in the same turn build, someone else can come in behind you and swoop in and then build when you were hoping to do that. So looking at other players' boards, their Moncalas, and seeing where their tokens are and trying, like I did that a lot. I was looking at y'all's boards trying to figure out, okay, if I do this and I leave this space open, are you set up for your next turn to build?
Yeah.
Are you set up for your next turn to build? Okay, JK can't build, Emily can't build. We'll go through a round of turns with this staying open, so I'm safe. You have to watch that stuff, otherwise you'll miss out.
My whole last turn was, okay, I'm going to build on this spot, and that's going to trigger an extra point here, which will allow me to travel 2 spaces, which I can conquer this army. Like, there were so many things staggered on the fact of, if I can build here. And sure enough, on James, the turn immediately before that, goes in and builds on the exact same spot that I'm on. So that totally short-circuited everything I was going to do in my final turn.
So, how did the points shake out?
The build strategy was pretty strong, guys.
It was pretty strong. JK's build strategy was strong.
Man, I was really hoping for beginner's luck, because I was like, I tanked at Parade. I got 2nd place in Rebirth. This is my game. Nope. I think I got dead last.
You guys were really close. Emily at 77, James at 79, and I finished the game with 90.
Woo. Well done, JK.
Yeah, my personal best is 84. I've seen some scores up into the 90s. And player count matters on this, so it'll determine that. You did great. Yeah, you it clicked for sure.
It was nice. Yeah.
Are you gonna keep it to play though?
It's already on my wish list for Amazon. Like, as we finished it up, Renegade does have a great offer on this game right now, at least as of the time we're recording it. However, it's currently out of stock. So hopefully that great deal will stick around long enough for me to take advantage of that. There's so many strategies. I want to see how this game plays out. So many different orders that we didn't even get to see. And as you noted, the board is entirely seeded at random. So there's a lot of variability here. This is definitely one I want to get back on the table and play again. Absolutely keep it to play.
Yeah, I'm also going to keep it to play. I don't know if I'm going to rush out to buy it, because I just don't know how often I'm going to be able to get it to a table. So this might be a few and far between playing wise for me, but I really enjoyed it and I would keep it to play.
Even with the theme?
Even with the theme.
Okay.
Yeah, it is definitely keep it to play for me. It falls into that sweet spot of Euros, that Euro-ish style games that aren't overly complicated, but provide a lot of depth of strategy, but are also easy to grok. Like, nothing that's like, oh, but this weird thing over here, but just to keep in mind, there's other extra thing over here. Like, none of that stuff is here. It's all clean.
Super straightforward.
Yeah, so it fits right in that wheelhouse for me. It has a great expansion, which I have played with, that adds another 4 building types for you to play with. It's like in addition to, so then you're managing 8 buildings and some additional tokens to put out onto the board that affect just bonuses when you travel around. Great expansion if you can track that down. Worth it if you want to find the game. So definitely keep it to play for me. Will be in my collection for a long time.
One thing I found interesting about it, our designer here is Seth Jaff, or Seth Jaffe, and you mentioned the artist being Adam P. McIver.
Mm-hmm.
McIver is also a game designer. He has done Ex Libris and a handful of other games. I think a couple that I know of him are both book and library based, but it's an interesting combo of guys there.
Yeah. They put something together special here because I've not played anything else like it. You don't see Mancala in a lot of games.
No.
So, yeah.
That's another 3 out of 3 on the Glee Meter, which means 3 out of 3 times.
That means we had a good game day, y'all.
It was
a fun day.
It was a great day. So, Gleeples, if you have any thoughts on Parade, Rebirth, or Crusaders, they will be done. You can email us at pod@gleefulmeeple.com. We'll return, hopefully, to our normal schedule with our next game of the show, Obsession.
And that's really it for us today, guys.
Wait,
you got more?
Wait, I got
Is there
more. I got a surprise for you.
Oh, no.
What'd you do?
I can't have an episode go by without a game about a game. So I got a quick one for you
I didn't
guys.
think you were getting
All right.
one. Yay.
I mean, the listeners won a game. I know they do. I know you're like, oh my gosh, there's no games. I also have a riddle that I did not get to.
Oh.
So I got a riddle and a game about a game.
All right.
Your riddle is terraforming Mars, this is not. Those stacks on stacks, it's got. Take a little of Raja's, add a pinch of Cascadia, in this game on the hotness you got.
It's Arc Nova.
It is Arc Nova.
Oh.
Good job, JK.
That's funny.
All right, you got that one quick, but can you get this one quick? Here's your game. It's the peanut game.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to give you a set of a little section of rules from a game and replace some of the words with the word peanut.
All right.
Did you really just put this together while we were here?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God.
So here we go. The peanut pattern must be created exactly on your personal board as depicted on the card. However, it can be oriented in any direction. The height of the peanuts and peanuts must exactly match what is shown on the card. The token on which the peanut cube is to be placed
Got it.
within the peanut must be unoccupied.
That's Harmonies.
It is Harmonies.
Oh,
JK
yeah.
got both of them today.
Oh, my word. I was like, oriented. Where are the tiles? Yep. Okay. Good job, JK.
Thanks.
You just winning everything today.
It's my day.
Yeah.
We need more days like this. And now that's it for our abbreviated...
Wait. I'm just
Oh
kidding.
my
Go
gosh.
ahead. Go ahead.
That is it for our abbreviated episode. No sponsor this time because of the shortness. That's it for us today. If you do want to email us at pod@gleefulmeeple.com. Find us on Instagram at Gleeful Meeple Pod. Check out our seminars annually at Gen Con. We might as well start teasing those for next year and see how that goes. And come see us at an event. It is coming up on September. We've got several throughout Nashville. I think we're going to have maybe 10 in September. We'll see. Somewhere around there. Other than that, thanks for listening, folks. We'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
Bye, Gleeples.